I'll put the agenda on just now. And so far we've got side we are fine, and then we've got Mr. Molasane and Mahlangu on the NCOP side, so we need one more member. We've got Mr. Brotese. We've got apologies from only Mr. Brotese and Mayor Mautwe from the NCOP. So, and Yami he's hospitalized. He's hospitalized, so he's also given an apology, and Mr. Khai is in another meeting and undertook to join us, but we don't know when that meeting is going to adjourn.
Okay. Members, Chair, Co-Chair.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I want to propose that. Yes, I want to firstly acknowledge and thank members who joined the meeting earlier. It is 30 minutes now after the scheduled time. I hope the whip of the committee is also listening, is also present. That we propose that we adjourn for now until both houses complete their business for the day. And 30 minutes later, after, I think the NCOP will conclude their business before the NA. Immediately 30 minutes after
we don't
NA
have a
has
sitting
concluded.
today.
Oh, you don't have a
We don't
sitting?
have plenary.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
not today.
That's 30 minutes immediately after plenary. We regroup and we continue. Today's program, meeting, it's not...
Chairperson, sorry to barge in like that. Chairperson.
Yes, Mkaya.
It's Julius.
Yes, Julius.
I just spoke to Mr. Brotese. They are together in that meeting, but I asked him to quickly join us so that we can just finalize this matter.
Oh, that's sure. Good. You are weeping. Thank you.
Thank you, Julius.
So, he will shortly join us.
Thank you. Thank you, Julius.
Chair?
Yes.
Chairperson.
I'm listening.
Chairperson.
Mama Cho.
Yes, I just wanted to check. Yes, Yes, I wanted to check. I heard there is no plenary today. There is a plenary today at 2 o'clock. It's like somebody was saying there is no plenary today for NA. Oh, no, it's fine. I'm covered.
Okay.
I am covered. Thank you.
If the meeting agrees, we'll wait for Tim. We'll give him 3 minutes. Five more minutes. Then we can start. It's not a long agenda.
Okay.
Then we will start.
Let's wait here. Let's not even log out. Mina, I don't even have ESCOM. So I will wait here on the platform.
No, we all wait on the platform. We're not exiting.
Okay.
The only person who's going to leave the meeting, it is Honorable Singh. He has just apologized. I'm sure he has left already.
Still around. I'll wait for 5 or 10 minutes.
Oh, okay, sure.
Thank you.
All right.
Chair, it's Honorable Brotese. I've joined the meeting to
Tim is here.
Try and assist.
Okay.
Although I'm at the same time, Chair, did you hear me?
You're breaking. Tim, I can't hear you. You're breaking. But
I'm sorry.
That you're present now.
Yes, I'm sorry. We have load shedding here. Anyway, I'm on the meeting, but at the same time, please understand I'm also on a public works meeting. Okay. But I'm here to help you.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I've never been so excited Thank you for saving us, and Julius, thank you.
And I can confirm, sorry, I can also confirm that Honorable Khai is on the same meeting as me, so that's where he is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it's all systems go now, Cindy.
Yes, yes, Chair. Yes, do you want me to put the agenda on again, Chair? Or the report?
Do that.
Yes,
members, you're welcome. And thank you very much for availing yourself for this meeting. Can I quickly request that Cindy puts the agenda on the screen?
Can you see it, Chair?
Yes, I can see.
So it's
Members, the agenda is on the screen, but the first item is consideration of committee reports, report of the Joint Standing Committee on the financial management of Parliament of the Republic of South Africa, performance in the third and fourth quarters of 2019-2020. Is Toli in?
Toli is here, Chair.
Yes.
Toli does have has another engagement, an emergency that came up that he has to attend to, so he has to leave at 22:02. But we can also put the report on the screen for members.
Can Toli please take us through the report in less than 5 minutes?
Okay, I'll just put the report on as well.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, Chair and honorable members. Cindy, can we go to direct to the, to the observation down?
To the observations, Toli?
Yes. Honorable members, I think I will be brief here. As we know that we considered we received a presentation for the third quarter and fourth quarter report from the Parliament. And after our deliberation, your deliberation, in fact, with the Parliament, and also what transpires, we just recorded what transpired in the meeting period deliberation with the Parliament. One of the observations that we had, what was mean here, was that the committee is a usual one of was a usual comment observation that we normally write. The one that the committee always, the Parliament doesn't have annual. Some of their targets are only on annual basis, not on a quarterly basis. And we always put an emphasis on that all the targets should be broken down in the quarterly basis so that we can able to monitor the progress. Move forward, Cindy.
Yes.
Also, we know that in the previous year, we've got this problem. We've always talked about this over expenditure in the direct charges, which is due to loss of office payment and exit gratuity. We have each and every quarter we've spoken about this. Move further, Cindy, down. Also, we've spoken about the issue of clerical vacancies. We know that currently Parliament doesn't have a chief financial officer, and also there's an outstanding, there's also a vacant position for director for people, and the Treasury Advice Office is still not yet filled, despite that the Parliament have told us that they've initiated the process of filling it. Move down in. Okay, well, another issue was the issue of a why Parliament is not, it doesn't move, why is not having channel where it can be accessed, a channel that can be accessed by the majority of South Africans in a free, for example, in a SABC rather than this one that they are in the 48, in the paying channel, because this was in line, in tandem with one of the targets of the Parliament, which is population, the target, which is population of the South African population who's aware of the activities of Parliament. Move down, Cindy. And then following from this, we draw on the following conclusions. Go down, Cindy. The conclusion that to the executive authority for their consideration. Those recommendations were with regard to what have been highlighted in the above. So we're addressing all the concerned observations that were highlighted in the above. I think that was this is the report in the main. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I think one thing that maybe we might have omitted is the appointment of the Secretary to Parliament. We've had an acting secretary for how long now? Can we go up on administration? Is that reflected anyway, colleague?
No, I think that issue, although if we are not even captured, because we've spoken about it only when we were considering the 2021 APP, but I think on that report of 2021 APP, we haven't captured it. We can even capture this one, but where it was relevant, because it was highlighted, was raised when we had the meeting with Parliament, when we're considering the 2021 APP. But I'm sure, I know, because there was one of the chapters that we captured that one, that issue, even that report that is still coming.
Okay.
Chairperson, if
I am.
may.
Yes.
We captured the appointment of, or the issue of the Secretary to Parliament and the Chief Financial Officer and all those other critical vacancies under paragraph 5.4.1 of the observations.
I can see it's reflecting here, and these are the main role players in Parliament. So can you flag that in red? Can you make that red? That 5.4.1, can you make it red?
Okay.
I think all of us, when we finally present the report in plenary, we must reflect and highlight on this matter. We must all emphasize on this matter. I am also concerned about the fact that the over expenditure that relates to medical aid and gratuities for exiting members of Parliament. It's also a call for concern. We did not get a satisfying response on that. I think Parliament has not initiated to have a meeting with Treasury, as recommended previously, that they will have to meet with Treasury and finally resolve this matter. The channel for ordinary members of South Africa to be able to access, which will be your SABC, also that we move Parliament from a privatized broadcaster, so that it can be accessible to all South Africans. I'm sure 80% of South Africans do have SABC channel. That also becomes an important issue for me. Members, is there anything that you would want to highlight or emphasize on before we can then request that we move for the adoption of the report?
Chairperson,
Yes, Chair.
Kaiso.
I'm noting Julius. Kaiso. Is Julius and Kaiso for now?
Moletsane.
Moletsane. Member Moletsane, how are you?
I'm fine, Chen. How are you?
Welcome. Thank you. It's been a long time.
Hey, ma'am, I nearly died, but I'm back on my feet.
Oh, Shem, sorry to hear that, man. We happy
Chen,
that
You must never say that to your mouth.
Will I die?
You are not a dying type. You are not a dying type.
Okay, Chen.
Member Julius, you're the first.
Thank you. Chairperson, just on 5.3, I think
We
it's
don't
page 11, I'm not sure.
5.3, quickly go there, Cindy. 5.3, permit.
Oh, it's corrected there. No, it's fine. On our reports, it's just there's a spelling error with contributions, but it's corrected there. And then if you go to 6.3, the medical empowerment, I think we need to highlight the fact, yes, that Parliament and the 9 provincial legislatures, we should look at that breakdown and come to a conclusion on they must pay for their old members to make it more affordable for members. 6.3. Thank you.
6.3, can we also recommend that maybe at some point legislatures should come and present to Parliament on their plans on how are they going to implement this?
Chairperson.
Member,
thank you. I think you are correct to say the legislatures need to come and present their side of story, so that a decision that is taken by the Committee of Parliament to say that the provincial legislature must be able to take the responsibility of the cost. Is indeed, I'm supporting the idea that indeed they need to come and do the presentation so that we can hear their plans. Thank you.
Thanks, ma'am.
Is it my turn, Chair?
I want to give Cindy 3 seconds to type this so that she shouldn't forget. Mr. X, is that you?
Is it my turn, Chair?
Yes, it's your turn now.
Okay. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I just want to go to point 5.4.1, the red one. I thought yes, I thought the matter 5.4. It's we should make a clear recommendation there.
Okay.
We must write our prayer quite clear because we have raised a concern. So I pray that we write our prayer straightforward. What is it that we recommend? Because obviously we are recommending that that post must be filled. And it would be our desire that should be done within a very short space of time. I mean, it's quite a lengthy period that we are the ones who are in charge there. So we can't have any excuse of having a prolonged acting type of situation in a parliament for a very critical position. So I'm suggesting that why can't we write straightforward our prayer there that post must be filled, vacant post of the acting secretary must be filled within a very reasonable period of time.
If you say reasonable again, the prayer is not directed. Be specific.
Oh,
let's say within this financial year.
Yes, no,
Let's say
even
within
the second quarter is fine.
Or in the second quarter.
the second quarter. Yes.
Okay, in the second quarter.
The second quarter ends before the end of September 2020.
No, end of September is too soon. Not possible. Second quarter
That's
is
not possible.
Let's
Okay,
be realistic.
the third one.
Let's say
Within the financial year.
Within the financial year.
And before the end of the 2020-21 financial year. Yes, Chair, I put it under 6.5, Chairperson.
Are you covered?
Yes, I'm covered here. I'm covered.
Member Moletani?
Thank you, Chair. Just addition, because my fellow colleague has just covered me. I would like to add to say that not only that secretary post, all those vacant posts are critical and important.
Yes.
So all of them must be filled in. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. All right. Any other takers?
Chairperson?
Yes, now you're on.
I was saying that the latter speaker was talking about all those posts to be filled. I think give the secretary to a space to add on 6.5 to add that all. I agree here we're talking about the I don't know how, but we're talking about the secretary, but now there is a say that we need to take into consideration all those critical posts. So let her cover that.
Yes, Ms. Marshall, the recommendation is that all the critical posts referred to in paragraph 5.4.1 should be filled. So it's all of them, the secretary, the treasury advice office, the CFO, it's all of them that are in 5.4.1. I have covered it in 6.5.
Okay. Thank you. Members, thank you very much for your participation. Can we then get a mover for the report?
I'm here, Chair.
Yes. Who's moving?
I move for.
Oh, Matlo. Member Matlo is moving.
Chairperson, I'm moving for the adoption of the report.
Second that,
Thank you. With corrections?
With corrections, yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Can we then move to the second report? Thanks.
Let me just quickly save this one. The next one is our. Can you see the next one, Chair?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, I'm going to stop this one. Stop there. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll make it bigger.
Oli?
Yeah. It moves into two observations. We recall here we have considered the strat plan, the draft strategic plan for the 6th Parliament in the previous month, and we just also considered the APP 2020-21 APP and budget with the adjusted budget, a special adjustment, a budget that was presented by Parliament in the previous weeks. One of the things that we have raised as an observation on the strategy plan was that we have noted that this strategy plan has been drafted using the department using the guideline on the implementation of the framework for strategy plan and APPs, which from the Department of Monitoring and Evaluation. as a parliament, we don't have a framework for the strategic plan and APPs, which that is being envisaged after we have this parliament has been taking time to implement or to draft and adopt the regulation as per required by Section 65 of the Financial Management Parliament of Act. So instead, hence we don't have our own framework for drafting strategic plan and APP. The Parliament has opted for this one of the Department of Monitoring and Evaluation. Also, the Financial Management of Parliament, our act that governs us, Section 42 of it also outlines what should be included in the strategic plan. What I've found here is that the strategic plan that was submitted was inconsistent with the provision of this act, in particular this section 14.2c, where, for example, it suggests that it in fact it provides that under each and every program, there should be a strategic objective to support to say what this program is meant for and the objective and outcomes of that particular program, each and every program. For program one, there should be objectives and outcome of each of that program. For program two, there should be objective and outcome for that particular program, up to all the program of the parliament. So on this strategy plan, there were no such kind of provisions have not been
getting back to me. Remember, please mute.
So this is the one of the observations that we have identified. Go further, Cindy.
No, just go back. Before that, you did not conclude what you were saying. You said objectives and outcomes are not being
for each program. For program one, there should be objective and outcome for program one, for program two, for each program individually. There should be such particular objective and outcome as per the requirement of the act, our act that governs us, in particular 14.2, clause 14.2c of that particular act. So that's why I said that this strategic plan was inconsistent with the provision of the act as per required by the act. Also, one of the things I identified was that there are risks in each program. There are risks that are identified per program, but the unfortunate part is that there are no mitigation plans as also been required. In fact, this is in line with the
Colin.
Yes.
Colin.
Hello, yes.
You're breaking and you're speaking too fast.
Oh, okay. The second one is that, yes, they identified risks under each and every program. But the only thing that was not done was the mitigation plans for those particular risks that have been identified in the case where the risks have been identified. Move further, Cindy.
Okay.
Go down. Okay, go up a little bit, go up.
Now up?
Yes, yeah. Also, now I'm coming to the APP, the APP, the revised APP. In fact, they noted that they are going to have 5 programs for APP in order to implement the APP. So in the strategy plan, there are 5 programs actually that are appearing there. We still have our conventional program 1 up to program 5. But I think this one particularly should be much more talks in the 2021 APP and budget, because currently they submitted a APP and budget with the only 3 programs. So my concern was that the APP implements a budget, so there could be no deviation, much more deviation between strategy planning and APP. So you can't have a strategic plan with 5 programs and then the AP, when you implement the APP, you've got the APP with 3 programs. So that was that contradiction. But I think now, I recall now that this one much more relevant in the 2021 and 22 APP and budget. Because this 2020-21, they are still implementing the old strategic plan, not this new 6th parliament. The first APP that will implement this new parliament, as they were presenting, is this 2021-22. Go down, Cindy. Also, we have noted that there are other offices now that are going to report directly to the Speaker of Parliament, to the Executive Authority. In fact, we know the PPO, after the amendment of the Money Bills and Amendment Act, they will be reported to the Parliament. Then now we said, in fact, what we just observed or highlighted here is that up to so far, this office doesn't have a leadership, and so far, in fact, we should have at least received something of their plans from them.
You're breaking.
Okay, what we have highlighted here, Chair, is that we know that, for example, there are offices like a PPO that now they're going to report directly to the Executive Authority after the amendment of the money bills. Now, what we have highlighted or noted is that we raise a concern of leadership because there's no director or there's no director in that position. Also, by now we should have at least received their proposed plan for that particular office, because now they are no longer be accounted under parliament administrative services. So they will be independent, like an entity. So we have to receive the plans for that particular office. Another one is still the issue of that we raised in the 3rd and 4th quarter report of critical offices like Treasury or Advice Office. That is still not been established. Go further, Cindy. And another one is still the one for Secretary to Parliament, CFO, and Chief Audit Executive that we highlighted in the 3rd and 4th quarter. Go down, Cindy. No, you hang on there.
Okay.
Also, this issue of a channel, the TV channel that we have spoken about in the 4th and 3rd quarter, that is still have to be considered. Or again, we also put emphasize. You see, Chair, one of the things that we have highlighted some time ago, the act that is the Financial Management and Parliament and Professional Legislators Act. We have an act, but the problem, we don't have regulations to implement this act. Now, the regulations are required in the Chapter 9, Section 65 of this of the act, that there should be regulations, so that, for example, we could have our own, as I said before, alluded before, that we don't have a framework, for example, to implement our strategy. to draft our strategy plan and APPs. We depend on getting some framework from the executive, of which we should have our own a framework as per envisaged in that Section 65, where we're supposed to have regulations to implement this act. So currently, ever since we've been writing, we're recommending about this thing that the Parliament should expedite the issue of drafting and drafting these regulations. So we are still emphasizing that in order to have a smooth running and implementation of this act, we must have these regulations, so that we must not pick and choose. We take some other thing from the executive, others we don't take from the executive, because we claim that we have got our own act. But so we must have these regulations, so that we must know that we just implement our act holistically. Yes, I think that was it, Chair. So we've got the recommendation that recommends, tackle or trying to address the issue that we've raised in the previous in these observations. Thank you, Chair.
Ms. Mabe, you need to unmute.
Sorry, members. I think what comes out quite clearly and strongly, and which is something that we cannot continue like this, is that the Parliament, it is regulated through FMPPLA, Financial Management, Parliament and Provincial Legislatures Act, not the, what is this act that regulates others? PFMA, yeah, not PFMA. I think that is clear. And if we want to mix the two legislations and want to use one where we feel comfortable, in fact, it's illegal. We can't do that. I am also worried. I want to know, in legislatures, do they use the PFMA when it suits them and use the Financial Management Parliament and Provincial Legislatures Act when it suits them? I also want to get an understanding of legislatures. How do they operate? But Parliament at this level, we should insist that we consider drafting our own regulations that will then guide the smooth, and there will not be any contradictions also as to what are we responsible for, what needs to be done by Parliament, who does what and when. So we need to insist that in this term, once the critical posts have been filled, whoever people that will be coming in should then adhere to making sure that we comply with legislation. If we don't comply with legislation, there's no way that we will do anything right. That's why we have so many transgressions and challenges. I think that is what is outstanding for me, which is quite very important, and it can't also be taken light. It's a call for concern. Members? Honorable members? Are there issues, members, that you would like to highlight? Am I audible, Cindy?
Yes, I can hear you, ma'am. Everybody can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. While members are still thinking, it's also what is this? The risk with no mitigation plan. It's also a call for concern. The APPs that are not tallying with programs. Also a plan to be presented to us on offices that will be reporting directly to the PSO. The issue of the channel, the television channel, and the filling of critical vacancies also comes back. Those are the issues that I have highlighted from my side. I think members tend to agree with me that the compliance with legislation becomes a critical issue that needs an urgent attention. If members don't have any further comments to make.
I have, Chair.
Oh, okay. Mama.
Yes, I think one that I think the Chair could also include as one of the critical issues to be looked into is the issue of slow decision-making processes, outdated policies that are there. We need to also check which policies that are outdated, which need to be taken into consideration. The issue of lack of proper charter also, it comes like one of the things that we need to take into consideration. The other one, which I was also noting, I think I've noted a few of those which need us to indeed make sure that we look at. And then, I think, Chair, you also touched on the issue of inconsistency of the provision of the Act with regard to the objective of each programs, which I think it will be one of the things that as members of the committee, we must take into consideration. You know, if we go to the issue of inconsistency with regard to the provision of the Act, you could ask yourself which tool are we using as Parliament, as I was always coming in to say, why don't we look at one of the ISO? But in government, they talk about the standards. The language is that the standards need to be followed so that we can be able to make sure that the inconsistency goes away. Thank you. So with me, from the understanding is what we call ISO, which it goes with policy and procedures for us to can address this issue of inconsistency with the provision of the Act with regard to the objective of each and every program. Thanks.
Any further takers?
I think I must come back with another one, which I forget.
Yeah.
Chair, if you listen to the researcher, they are talking about the office that is, they call it PBO, or something of that sort, which needs to report to the office of the speaker, which does not have the management, does not have the leadership in that office, which presently is a very big challenge to us as a committee that these people, they were supposed to be have already developed a plan which was supposed to be submitted presently. Now we need to come up with a decision on when and how this should happen. How do we then make sure that this office is operational? Thank you.
Members?
Yes.
Can we then get a mover?
Chair, I move for the adoption of this.
Chair Mahlangu, can I second?
Martha Mahlangu second.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The report has been agreed to. Can we then go to the minutes? Thank you, colleague.
Okay, I'll go to the minutes.
Can we go to the minutes? Are you able to flag them, Cindy?
Yes, Chair, I'm just finding them quickly. Okay.
If problems in zinto zironda
Patterson, co-chair, Ma'am Dikeledi.
Can you see them, Chair?
Member Dikeledi. Ma'am Dikeledi. Member Sangu. Oh, she can't hear me. I wanted to ask you to take over.
Can you see them, Ms. Marble?
It's a set of how many?
It's everything from the 11th of July, 2019 until the 28th.
It's how many sets?
It's about, I think it's just under 20.
It's a lot. Members, do we have time to, can I be guided on minutes? How do we go about them, members? To approve 20 sets of minutes, it's going to take time. Can we get proposals?
Can I come in? Chairperson, can you hear me?
Yes, madam, come in.
Okay, sure. When I look at and my apologies for joining this meeting late. I actually missed them to make inputs on the report. I just came in when we were at the end of the discussion, so I have not really made any inputs. But on this one, Chair, I see that it's starting from 11 July 2019 up until July 2020. And within this period, I was not a member of this committee. I will just be sitting here useless like that. And maybe let's establish if all the members here were part of all this from July 2019 up until now. And if so, then they can then engage in the minutes. But if 90% of us were new, we really can assist you. We can adopt something. So maybe let's start first. Who was here?
Hello, member.
Honorable Chair.
Hello.
Honorable Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Dikeledi. Yeah, Chairperson, yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with the Honorable Mauto to be part of the meeting for the quorum. The only thing that I know she cannot do is to move or second. But going first to your first question, Honorable Chair, is that I propose that you go set by set and page by page, because we have received these minutes. You just check page 1 if there's anything that needs to be changed, that will change the content of the minutes. Then 2, 3, 4, and then until the last page, and then we adopt. Then we go to the next set. Just like that, yes. Thank you, Chair.
Do you want to run this process, ma? Coach?
I will do so, Chair. There's something that is distracting me at home here. Sorry.
Yeah, ne? This Zoom, this Zoom meeting must end.
But this one, it was going to distract me even in Cape Town. It's not a nice thing.
All right, sorry.
Chairperson.
We have member and member Kim.
Chairperson, I would like to agree with Honorable Dikeledi that you go step by step, but to start rectifying the minutes now, because the notice was out that if there's anyone who's got any issue with the minutes, must have sent this thing to the secretary to Cindy. So if there's nothing to send over, it means they can expedite the adoption of those minutes. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks. Tim?
Hello.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, all I wanted to say is that unfortunately we have to do them one by one. I agree with the previous colleague that we shouldn't go and look at making alterations now because we had that opportunity. But the importance of looking one by one, Chair, is to make sure that the persons moving and seconding were in fact in the meeting. And I'm not sure if all of us were in all those meetings, so we need to make sure that the persons who are moving and seconding were in fact in the meeting. Otherwise, they cannot move and second the minutes. Thank you, Chair.
All right. Martha?
Chairperson, yes, I think what is important here, which is clearly being outlined, is that we should not waste more time. We still have another sitting now, not long, in NA. So what I would suggest that let's go to the minutes directly. And I think the secretaries, they have the attendance register. They know who and who did not attend. But the fact of the matter that we have these minutes in time is only to go page by page, to say page what, page what. Then we go to recommendations. Then we finish. Thank you.
Okay. We are now on the minutes of the 11th July 2019. Can we see who was present? Mahlangu, Nyambi, Kai, Muletsani, Mabe, Tlakude, Hadebe, Majodina Ndaba, Traisho, Steinhazen, Julius. Oh, this is quite old, yeah? Okay. Members who were present, because we had an opportunity to go through the minutes, is there anything, firstly, in terms of corrections that you would want to sponsor? And secondly, substantial matters that you would want to flag on the minutes of the first meeting of the committee? Members who were present?
Nothing, Chair. Nothing.
Nothing. Can we then get a mover?
You can move, Chair. Nothing.
Can you do it the proper way, co-chair?
I moved that the minutes.
Okay, sorry.
There's a mover, Member Khadebe. Who's the seconder?
I moved that the minutes. This is hard. I moved that the minutes be adopted.
There's a mover. Who's the seconder?
Can the seconders come on board?
We're the mover. Who's the seconder? Dikele the seconder. Can we then move? Cindy, can we move to another set of minutes? Hadebe
Yes.
moved. Mahlangu seconded.
Yes, we've got the 19th of July now.
19th of July. Can you move to the attendees? Let's see who was present.
Okay.
Okay. Members, anything that you would want to add, make changes? Hello, members, can you hear me?
Yes.
Julius, you were present. Hadebe was present. Mabi was present. From the Mahlangu, Nyami, Hadebe, Julius, Lisoma. I've seen Breitenberg, not Breit, I've seen Tim. Tim, sorry, I can't pronounce your surname. My apologies. I will learn. Any mover, members?
I'll move for them.
I move. Julius moves.
Julius moves. Tim seconds. Thank you. Can we move?
Moving chair.
Member, please mute. Someone's mic is on. 27th of August, 2019. Mahlangu, hi. Team Muletsani, Nyambi, Mabi from NA. Let's see again who was present. Cindy, please move your cursor down. Hadebe, Lisoma, Steinhazen, and Singh. Can we get a mover? If there's nothing substantial that members would want to raise. A mover for the minute.
Chair, it's Lesoma.
Lisoma move.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay. Melisoma moved.
Can we get someone to quickly second members? Can we get a second, members? Cindy, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Mayor Mabe.
Members, can we get a seconder, please? Let's move.
I'll second.
Team
Now
second.
to set seconds.
Thank you. Can we then move to the 27th of August? 27th of August. Can we get a mover and a second, unless it is substantial that members would want to raise?
I'll move.
Lesoma seconds.
Okay, thank you. Can we then move, Cindy?
I'm moving to, I'm just.
Your technology is a bit outdated, no?
I'm sorry.
Hey, Geli, you must move, you must move, you must move, woman. Okay, the 28th of August 2019, move down. Roll your cursor. Let the dice roll. Present. Let's see who was present.
You're present, okay?
That is very important. Mahlangu, Gai, team, Muletsani, and Nyambi. Can we see the NA side? On the NA side, Mabi, Lisoma, Kaiso, Steenhazen. Can we get a mover and a seconder, unless if there's something substantial that members would want to raise?
I move, Chair.
Kaiso move.
Lesoma move, Chairperson.
Before that, Chairperson, I'm not sure what informs this attendance register that Cindy are preparing, because there are other names that are forever appearing for being present, and those people we know they are not present. So this can be a legal error that we are doing. Cindy,
no,
are you sure about these people that you said?
Let me clarify something. Cindy, wait.
I don't want to be taken to court.
Cindy.
Yes, Chair?
Yes.
Chair, can I clarify that? Remember, look at the date. It's 28th of August 2019. Yes. So we're confirming the meeting of last year, 2019 August. So those members were present. They were part of the meeting.
I'm just saying, okay. I'm just saying she must be sure, so that we don't, because some of us we might not remember. She must just be sure.
No, they were there. They were there. Remember, there were some alterations. Members, yes, but members who are appearing there on the minutes were definitely part of the committee, and they were. That is why it's important that those
if
who
you say so.
Yes. Can we move then?
Okay,
Thanks,
if you say so.
Thanks, Chair.
Chair, I wanted also to come in there. Hello? Chair?
Yes, Member Maslo.
No, I wanted also to come in there to say, because we are on record, it should also be clarified that some of us, we did not start with you in this committee. We came a bit late.
We are aware, ma'am. We have less than 50. Member Maslo, we have less than 15 minutes. Can we push as much as we can? We're not going to be able to go half through this minutes. We need to stop at some point. We will not be able to finish. Members, can we continue? You have my 100% confirmation that members who are appearing on the attendance register, yes, they were present in the meeting, and we are dealing with the outdated meeting minutes. It's something that we really need to improve on, so that we don't adopt minutes later after in the year. At least it should take us every second meeting. We should try get a quorum for us to be able to adopt minutes. So we note that
let's move on.
there have been changes in all political parties. We have new members that have just joined us, and we have members that have left the committee. That is why it is important that when we second and when we move for the adoption and when we second the minutes, it should be members who were present in the meeting. Can we then agree the 29th of August? Can we get a seconder and a proposer, a person who moves and a person who seconds?
Proud to set proposals.
Member Kim?
I second the Honorable Chair, Lesoma.
Lesoma seconds. Thank you, members. Can we move, Cindy?
I'm moving, Chair.
10 minutes before the House sitting, we have to stop so that members can log in for the House sitting.
Next is 5 September.
5 September 2019. Move to the attendance register. Those who are present, members, is there anything substantial? If not, please, can we get a mover?
Proud to set proposals.
Lesoma seconds.
Okay, there's a proposal. Can we get a seconder?
Lesoma Chair.
Yes, thank you so much. Seconded.
Can we get a seconder, members?
Lesoma seconded, Chair.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Can we move?
I have done that, Honorable Chair.
Sorry, I missed that. 11 September 2019. Mahlangu, British, Hai, Dakude, Mabi, Steinhazen, Mahlo.
I
You are
move.
in now.
Yes,
You're
I
present
moved.
now. You are present.
Yes, I moved here.
Julia, Singh,
Proud to set seconds.
if there's anything substantial.
I moved, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you. Can
Proud to
we
set
move?
seconds.
Thank you. Can we move?
9 October, Chair.
October 9th. Mahlangu, Bretas, Lesoma Tlaiso Khadebe Steenhuisen, Julius Mahlo Singh. Any
I
mover?
move, Chair.
Unless there's
I
some
move, Chair.
substantiation.
Second, Chair.
Thank you, members. Mahlo and Mahlangu. Okay, thank you. 30th October. 30th October, Cindy, move. Move to the attendance. Mahlangu, Mulezani, British, Taiso Khadebe, Lesoma.
I was absent.
Let's mover. Second, Mahlo. No, little. Second, Mahlo.
Mulezani Suhaman. Thank you.
Bangena team.
Okay.
Singen.
Sorry. Siyabangena.
Yeah, singen.
November, Chair.
6 November. Cindy, can we get your undivided attention?
Yes, Chair.
At least you must give me 10 seconds. Mulezani? Present Mulezani? Mahlangu? Yes. Can we get a mover?
Yes, I move, Chair.
Mahlo move. Seconder?
Yeah.
Khadebe seconds. Thank you. Can we move?
6 November again, the evening, Chair.
Okay, Khadebe moves. Khadebe moves.
Mahlo second.
Maso
Okay.
seconds. Thank you.
Next.
Let us ray.
Laat ons gaan. Laat ons gaan.
Let us ray.
mevrouw.
Ons ray. Ons gaan nie. Ons ray.
Voorzitter.
November in the afternoon.
6th November in the afternoon. If there's anything substantial, if not, can we get a mover? There's the attendance register. Can we get a mover and a seconder?
Ma'am, there, Chair. I moved.
Thank you.
Lady Masangu moves. Maso second.
Now return the board.
13 November, Chair.
Where's Taiso?
13 November.
Yes.
Cindy, can you move?
Yeah.
Masangu, Muletani, British. Can you move to the NA side? Mabi, Taiso, Maso.
Maso second.
Kaiso, seconds.
Thank you. Next.
Can we correct that? Maso moves and Taiso seconds.
Yes. 13 November in the afternoon.
Hello, Chair. Chairperson.
Yes.
On those minutes, I hope you took note. Did you note my surname that's wrongly spelled there?
Yes, Mr. Malsane. I'll correct it. I'm sorry.
We apologize for that. Can we correct Mr. Member Muletane's surname?
Will do, Chair.
Thank you. 13 November, unless there's something substantial. Masangu, British, Muletsani, present, Hai, Julius, Taiso, Hadebe, Mabi, Mato. Mato moves, Hadebe, second. Thank you.
27 November.
27 November, unless there's something substantial. Hai, Masangu, British, Mabi, Muletsani, Nyambi, absent. Taiso, Hadebe, Julius. Julius moves, Hadebe second. Thank you. Noted.
For December, Chair.
4th December. Ish, this is bad, man. I don't want to do this anymore. This should be for the last time.
It must be for the last time.
Yeah, it's for the last time. We shouldn't do this.
Yes,
we must fight for a quorum. 4th December. We are stopping in the next 15 minutes, ne? 4th December. 4th December.
Yes, Chair.
Who's moving?
Kaiso moves.
I move.
Yes, you were, Chair.
Masangu seconds. Thank you. Can we move?
10 March
Then we go
this year.
March, before Corona. Maso, don't do that. Can you switch off your video when you do get us, please, ma'am? In attendance, Masangu, Muletsani, Team Muletsani, Mabi, Lisoma, Julius, Maso. Can we get a mover and a seconder?
Lisoma, okay. Maso is moving. Must give other people chance.
All right.
Our participate, Chief, we must move. Kaiso is having connectivity problems. Can you move?
If we are here, we carry on.
Can you move? Chair, can you second so that we move?
So I do, Chair.
I said that I would second. Yeah, okay.
Okay, can we now?
12
Members?
May.
12 May, please, let's concentrate.
Attendees.
Yes.
Chair, I will propose these minutes.
Thank you. Team
Proposes.
second. Team propose.
Julius,
Second.
second. Yes,
28
Oh,
May.
Julius, I withdraw. Julius, second.
Yes.
Okay, Julius.
28
Can you
May.
move the 28th of May, Julius? 28th of May.
Radisette proposes.
Team
Present.
proposes. Julius.
Fateme seconds. Fateme seconding.
Team proposes. Julius second.
Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Next one is.
Can we move?
This is the last one. It's 28 July.
28th of July. Let's go. Attendance. Matlangu, Kai, Julius. Let's go to the NA side.
Radisette will propose.
Okay. Team proposes. Can we get a seconder?
A second, Chair.
Thank you, Ntate Kaisto. That brings us, this is the last item.
Yes.
This is the last set of minutes.
Yes, Chair, it's the last one.
Okay.
Well done,
Yeah.
Chair. Well done.
Thank you very much, members, for your participation and your cooperation. I never thought we'll finish this, but we did. I want to, as a chairperson, take responsibility of the minutes, but also request that where a quorum is required, members should please try and prioritize this committee because we don't often sit and where we don't often meet and require a quorum. You know, it happens only when we had items before the committee that are for approval. And as and when we do that, we will also try at least quarterly bring the minutes so that we're not stuck with minutes from the previous year. It's really not saying good about us. So members, there's no further.
Chair, if I may. Chair, if I may.
Yes, Tim?
Chair, just very quickly, you know, I hear what you're saying about prioritizing this committee, and this committee is very, very important. But I also think the programming committee or the programming, whoever does the program, must also prioritize this committee. You know, both myself and Olbach had an extremely important presentation this afternoon on the investment infrastructure plan, which is a multi-trillion rand issue. And, you know, at the same time, they scheduled this at the same time. Now, I just think that whoever does the programming should also pay us the respect of not scheduling our meetings at the same time as important other meetings. So
Okay.
I agree with you in prioritizing, but also people must respect us as well when they're putting programs together. Thank you.
Yeah, I think programs of committees are approved in advance, unless if there's a special request like this ones. We are not scheduled to sit today, but we had to make a request because we have to present reports on Thursday in plenary. I want us to stick to our program, but we always take consideration of the availability of members of the NCOP, because without the NCOP, there is no way that we can correct. Let's leave it at that. We will improve on adoption of minutes. And also the reason why our committee sits after hours, it's mainly because of that team. When everybody else, when people are done with their other parliamentary businesses, then they can come and participate in this committee. I have no problem with that at all. It's fine. Members, let's agree to adjourn the meeting and agree that we'll then get a proper schedule for future meeting. Thank you very much, members.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, members.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you,
Let's be prepared
Chairperson.
for the NA. You're welcome.